They never start when they start talking. That's the first thing the file gets wrong, or rather, the first thing we get wrong when we read it. We assume influence begins with a sentence, a pitch, a lie, a compliment, a threat. It doesn't. The file says, the work is already done before the mouth ever opens. The file says they arrive early. Not to the room, to you. What you're about to hear is not about persuasion. It is not about body language tricks or charisma or the usual catalog of charms they sell in paperbacks. This is about the silent technique manipulators use before they even speak, the architecture they build around you while you still think nothing is happening at all. And almost no one understands it correctly because we have been trained to listen for the danger. To wait for the words that hurt. We watch the hands, we watch the lips, but by then, you are already standing exactly where they wanted you to stand. Consider what it feels like to walk into a room where someone is already waiting for you. Not anxiously. Not eagerly. Just, settled. Their coat is already off. Their chair is already chosen. They have been there long enough to make the space theirs. You feel it immediately, don't you, that faint, nameless sense that you are the late one, the intruder, the one who needs to catch up. That feeling is not an accident. That feeling is the technique. The file says, the most effective control does not look like control at all. It looks like calm. We all carry a question we never say out loud, am I safe here, am I in control of what is happening to me? Long before we parse a sentence, we answer that question with our bodies. The manipulator knows this. So he does not speak to your mind first. He speaks to that question. Think of a man who never raises his voice and never needs to. You met him, perhaps. He enters without hurry. He does not scan the room for approval, he allows the room to settle around him. There is a stillness to him that your nervous system reads as authority, even when your reason has no evidence for it. That stillness is not peace. It is placement. Like a chess player who moves the board itself instead of a piece, he does not win the argument, he makes the argument happen on his side of the table. And if that were all it was, a trick of posture, it would be easy to dismiss. But it goes deeper, because what he is really doing in those first silent seconds is borrowing your own instincts to do his work for him. Listen carefully now, because this is where the file stops describing behavior and starts describing architecture. In 1958, at a small airbase that has since been scrubbed from most maps, a group of psychologists were asked a very simple, very chilling question: how do you get a man to tell you the truth without asking him anything? They did not use drugs. They did not use pain. They used a chair. A single, slightly too low chair placed just off-center in an otherwise bare room, under a light that was just a little too bright. The man who was brought in had to choose where to sit, and in choosing, he felt subtly wrong. Exposed. Childlike. The interrogator had not spoken. He had not needed to. The room had already asked the first question for him: who is in charge here? And the body answers that question long before the mind can object. That is the first principle. The file says, they let the environment do the talking. Your home, your office, your favorite cafe, these are extensions of your skin. When someone steps into them without adjusting, without that small, mammalian apology we all make when we enter another's territory, something tightens in you. You feel you must accommodate. You offer water. You explain the clutter. You begin to justify. And every justification is a small surrender. This is not about words. This has never been about words. The second principle is even quieter, and you have felt it 100 times without a name for it. They withhold the signal you are waiting for. Imagine a conversation. Someone looks at you, pauses, and, just before they would normally smile, they don't. The smile does not come. It is a gap of half a second, nothing more, but in that half second your mind rushes in to fill the void. Did I say something wrong? Does he know something? Is she displeased? That rushing in, that anxious reaching to restore the expected rhythm, is exactly the state they want you in. Because a person who is trying to restore connection will agree to almost anything to close the gap. It is like watching a man hold a glass just out of reach of running water, the water itself begins to lean. The file says, the most powerful influence is not a push. It is the removal of a pull. A mother does it without malice when she goes quiet after a child's report card. A boss does it when he looks at your proposal and says nothing for 3 full breaths. A lover does it when he answers your vulnerability with a slow, neutral nod. No criticism has been spoken. No attack can be defended against. And yet you feel judged, and in feeling judged, you begin to edit yourself. You offer more. You explain too much. You negotiate against yourself before the other side has even entered the negotiation. Listen carefully now, have you ever found yourself over-explaining to someone who asked you nothing at all? Have you wondered why you felt suddenly clumsy, suddenly too loud, in the presence of someone who was perfectly still? That is not your insecurity. That is a response to a vacuum that was deliberately left open. There is a reason for that, and the reason is older than language. Before we had words, we had proximity. We survived by reading the intentions of others from distance, from angle, from how long a gaze was held. The brain you live in today is still that ancient, watching brain. It is scanning, always scanning, not for logic, but for hierarchy. For safety. For who may be discarded. So the manipulator does something remarkably simple. He refuses to give your watching brain the completion it craves. He arrives, and he does not orient himself toward you immediately. He lets you wait while he finishes looking at something else. He lets his eyes arrive a second after his body does. That second, that single, deliberate second of not seeing you, is enough to trigger a small, primal alarm. Am I visible? Am I valued? Do I matter here? And you will do almost anything to turn that alarm off. This is not about words. The file says, they make you volunteer for your own narrowing. The third principle is the most intimate, and therefore the hardest to see while it is happening. They mirror you just badly enough. True rapport is a perfect mirroring. I lean, you lean, we breathe together. It feels warm, unconscious. The manipulator knows you crave that unconscious dance because belonging is not a luxury, it is oxygen. So he gives it to you, but with a flaw. He matches your posture, but a beat too slow. He matches your laugh, but a fraction too quiet. He matches your words, but with a word slightly more precise than your own. And in that slight imprecision, you feel, not mocked, not quite. You feel, corrected. Improved upon. You feel as if the better version of you is sitting across from you, and without thinking, you begin to adjust upward toward him. You straighten. You choose more careful words. You try, ever so slightly, to earn the perfect mirror you were almost given. It is like being given a suit tailored for a man 1 inch taller than you. You stand on your toes without realizing you are standing on your toes. Listen carefully now, the most dangerous man in a room is rarely the one who tries to lower you. He is the one who shows you a slightly higher version of yourself and then steps back, so you must climb to him. That climb is where the compliance begins. Because once you are adjusting your spine, your speech, your breathing to match his almost mirror, you have already accepted his frame. You have already said, without a single word spoken, I will meet you where you are. You will not have to come to me. And he never does. There is a fourth principle, and this is the one they never write down. They give you a secret before you have earned it. Not a big secret. Not a confession. Something small, quiet, offered with a glance toward the door as if to make sure no one else hears. We shouldn't be talking about this here, but you look like someone who would understand. You have heard that sentence, or one like it. And in that moment, something chemical happens. You are lifted, just for an instant, out of the crowd. You are not just a person anymore. You are an insider. The need to be seen, truly seen, as distinct from the mass of others, that need is so deep we will pay for it with our judgment. They give you that feeling before any request is made. And once you have felt chosen, you will protect the person who chose you. You will rationalize for them. You will fill in their silences with generous meanings. You will argue their side inside your own mind, because to doubt them now would be to lose that brief, intoxicating feeling of being singled out. The file says, they do not need to lie to you. They only need to make you feel like you are one of the few who sees through lies. Do you remember the first time someone did that to you? Not the flattery, not the loud compliment, the quiet aside. The lowered voice. The we. As in, we know how these people really are, don't we? There was no we before that sentence. He invented it, in a single breath, and your body accepted the invitation before your mind could check its credentials. That we, that tiny, fabricated belonging, is a leash that feels like a laurel. And here is where the loops we opened earlier begin to close, only to open another. You were told about the chair in the bare room. You were told about the half-second withheld smile. You were told about the mirror that is a fraction off. You thought these were separate techniques. They are not. They are three fingers of the same hand. The hand is this, they control the timing of recognition. They decide when you are seen, when you are not seen, and how clearly you are seen when you finally are. And because your nervous system is built to track being seen as a matter of survival, you will orient your entire self toward the source that controls that light. It is like living for a moment in a house where someone else holds the dimmer switch for the only lamp. You will move toward them, not because you like them, but because you need to see your own hands. Listen carefully now, this is why you can leave a conversation feeling exhausted without knowing what was discussed. You were not talking. You were being lit, and unlit, and lit again. The file says, the subject will afterwards describe the encounter as charismatic, even when no charisma was displayed. Because what we call charisma is often just the relief of finally being fully illuminated after being kept in partial shadow. There is a final file in the stack, and it is not a technique at all. It is a warning, written in a different hand. It says, the person who uses these things well will never look like a manipulator to you. He will look like the calmest, clearest person in your life. The one who listens so well. The one who makes you feel so understandable to yourself. You will seek him out. You will ask him for advice you did not need until you met him. And that is the turn, isn't it? The point where the document stops being about them and starts being about you, right now. Because you are not listening to this to spot villains in some distant political theater. You are listening because somewhere, very recently, you felt that subtle wrongness after an interaction that, on paper, was perfectly polite. You walked away rehearsing what you should have said. You felt a little smaller, a little more eager to please next time, and you could not name why. You told yourself you were being sensitive. You were not being sensitive. You were being read. Your safety, your sense of control, your belonging, those were touched before a single argument was made. And once those are touched, reason arrives late, like a detective to a house that has already been cleaned. This is not about words. This has never been about words. And if you are waiting to hear the manipulative sentence so you can defend against it, you have already missed the moment when the decision was made. The file says, by the time they speak, you have already said yes with your posture. So what do you do with a file like this? Once you know that silence can be a scalpel, that stillness can be a claim, that a withheld smile can be a command, how do you walk back into rooms where people are waiting? Do you start watching every pause? Counting every second of eye contact? Mirroring the mirror until no one knows who is leading? Or is there something else the file did not say, something about why you noticed these shadows in the first place? Because the only people who feel that vacuum so acutely, who rush so quickly to fill it, who adjust so willingly toward that slightly better mirror, are people who have learned, long ago, that being unseen was dangerous. That being just slightly too much, or not enough, could cost them love. And if that is true, then the silent technique never really belonged to them at all. It belonged to the part of you that was listening for it before they arrived. The file is still open on the desk. The light above it is still too bright. And someone has just entered the room without knocking, and has not yet spoken. What will you do in the next 3 seconds, before a single word is said?